Most people think liver trouble comes only from big mistakes, too much alcohol, years of greasy food, wild diets. After 60, the truth is quieter. The ordinary foods we lean on for comfort and convenience can nudge the liver to work harder day after day. That matters because the liver is your master organizer. It helps steady energy between meals, keeps fats and sugars moving to the right places, supports clear thinking in the afternoon, and even influences how well you sleep. Today, you'll get a plain English countdown of the 10 everyday foods that overwork the liver and, more importantly, the quick swaps that lower the load without ruining your routine. You'll hear what to look for on a label, easy ways to cook for one or two, and gentle targets that make a real difference. Stay to the end for a 20-second self-check and the most overlooked fix people miss. No scare tactics, just what large studies suggest is helpful, what isn't, and when it's worth talking to your clinician. If you like calm, practical health guidance designed for real life after 60, you're in the right place. Consider subscribing and tell me in the comments which grocery store aisle gives you the most trouble: sauces, snacks, or drinks. Your ideas shape the next videos. At number 10, deep-fried foods and reused oils. When oil is heated over and over, it breaks down into byproducts your liver has to package and remove. Think of the liver as the home's cleanup crew. These byproducts are extra boxes on the curb every single night. A quick lunch of fries and a crispy sandwich can add 2 or 3 tablespoons of fat and a lot of salt in one sitting, which is why so many people feel heavy and sleepy afterward. Keep the crunch, but change the method. At home, cut potatoes, toss them with a measured teaspoon of olive or avocado oil per person, add paprika and pepper, and bake or air fry. Coat chicken with crushed whole grain cereal or almond flour and roast until crisp. When eating out, ask for grilled or baked and add brightness with lemon, mustard, or herbs instead of ranch or creamy dips. If you notice right upper side abdominal discomfort, new pale stools, or repeated nausea after rich meals, call your clinician. Gallbladder and bile flow can be part of the story. Most of the time, though, spreading out fats and choosing baked over deep-fried lightens the liver's nightly workload. Number 9. Sugary drinks, sodas, sweet teas, juice cocktails, lemonades. Fructose, a common sugar in these drinks, is handled mostly by the liver. When it arrives in big gulps without fiber, the liver turns more of it into fat and sends triglycerides up. That's why a large sweet tea can pack a day's worth of added sugar in a single glass. Swap the habit, not the satisfaction. Keep cold seltzer on hand and squeeze in citrus. Add mint, cucumber, or a cinnamon stick for interest. Brew a pitcher of unsweetened iced tea and set out lemon wedges. If juice feels non-negotiable, mix a quarter cup of 100% juice with 3/4 cup of water or seltzer. Drink it slowly, and let whole fruit do most of the work the rest of the week. A simple target helps. Aim to keep added sugars under about 24 to 36 grams per day. The label's "added sugars" line tells the truth at a glance. If you manage blood sugar, you'll likely notice smoother numbers when liquid sweets shrink. Liquids spike faster than solid foods. Number 8. Processed meats like bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and many deli slices. These often combine saturated fat, salt, and preservatives. That trio makes the liver juggle packaging fat, keeping sodium-driven water balance in check, and handling additives. A bacon and white toast breakfast tastes great, but can leave you sluggish and thirsty because it's heavy on fat and light on fiber and protein variety. Rotate in options that feel just as comforting. Scrambled eggs with a spoon of beans and cherry tomatoes. Turkey sausage with a short ingredient list. A tuna or salmon salad made with yogurt, lemon, and pepper on whole grain toast. or leftover roast chicken you slice once and use for days. Rinse canned beans to lower sodium and toss them into omelets and soups. If you take blood thinners, try to keep vitamin K-rich foods consistent day to day rather than avoiding them. Stability helps dosing. If you notice new ankle swelling or a jump in blood pressure when processed meats are daily staples, that's a nudge to pivot toward fresher proteins and herb-forward seasoning. Number 7. Refined white flour pastries and soft white breads. These digest quickly and flood the bloodstream with glucose. The liver steps in as traffic controller, storing the overflow as fat when there's more energy than you need in the moment. That's why a morning pastry often brings a nice jolt followed by a mid-morning crash and the second cup of coffee. Swap the base and you change the outcome. Look for breads labeled 100% whole grain or 100% whole wheat, with at least 3 grams of fiber per slice. Choose oats, old-fashioned or steel-cut, topped with berries and a spoon of plain yogurt or cottage cheese for protein. Enjoy pasta by picking whole grain and pairing about a cup cooked with a palm-sized portion of lean protein and half a plate of colorful vegetables. Fiber is your friend. It helps bile do its job and escorts waste products out. Most people over 60 feel good aiming for about 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day, adjusting slowly and drinking enough water. If you've had bowel surgery or active diverticulitis, ask your clinician about the right pace for you. Number 6. High-sodium convenience foods, canned soups, instant noodles, jarred sauces. Salt itself doesn't go through the liver the way alcohol does, but its effects still show up. High sodium raises blood pressure in many people and can cause fluid retention, which changes how blood moves through the liver. It's common to see 700 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium in a single serving of soup, and many of us pour a bowl that counts as 2. Watch for the number on the label and start leaning on flavor builders that aren't salt. Rinse canned beans and vegetables under running water to wash away a surprising amount of sodium. Build taste with garlic, onion, smoked paprika, black pepper, dried Italian herbs, and a bright squeeze of lemon or splash of vinegar at the end of cooking. That brightness lets you use less salt and still feel satisfied. If you're living with heart failure or kidney disease, ask your care team for your personal daily sodium target, often 1,500 to 2,000 milligrams. New ankle swelling, shortness of breath, or sudden overnight weight gain deserves a check-in with your clinician. Number 5. Heavy creams, buttery sauces, and hidden saturated fats. Cream-based dishes and buttery baked goods concentrate saturated fat. The body needs some fat, but large servings push the liver to make more internal cholesterol and triglycerides, and combined with refined starch, that's a double whammy. Your liver is packaging fat, while also helping the body recover from a sugar rush. You don't have to give up creamy textures to get relief. Spoon plain Greek yogurt into a small bowl, whisk with lemon and a touch of Dijon, and fold it into warm cooked chicken or fish off the heat. Use light coconut milk in soups instead of heavy cream, and measure oils with a teaspoon so they don't free pour into the pan. Choose leaner cuts and trim visible fat. Roast a tray of vegetables and toss them with a teaspoon or 2 of olive oil per serving rather than a glug. If you've had your gallbladder removed, smaller amounts of fat spaced through the day usually feel better than a single rich meal because bile reaches the intestine more steadily. And a quick reminder about supplements. Fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, K, are important, but more isn't better. Follow your clinician's guidance. A quick myth to clear up before we continue. Your liver doesn't need a juice cleanse, a tea, or a powder to detox. It already detoxifies using enzymes and bile every minute of every day. What actually helps is simple. Enough protein to build those enzymes, enough fiber to carry waste out through the stool, and steady hydration so everything moves. Save your money for groceries that hit those 3 boxes. Number 4. Alcohol portions that quietly creep up. Alcohol is processed almost entirely by the liver. Even small daily amounts add up over months and years, especially if your liver is also managing higher triglycerides, diabetes, or extra weight around the middle. Many people find a nightly glass becomes a generous pour, then two, and sleep becomes lighter and less refreshing. A useful reset is to understand the real size of a standard drink: 5 ounces of wine, 12 ounces of regular beer, 1.5 ounces of spirits, and to plan at least 2 alcohol-free days each week, keeping any given day at 0 to 1 drink and the week at no more than 7. This is not about shame. It's about helping your liver do its best work. Try adult-feeling alternatives: seltzer with bitters and a lime wedge, iced herbal tea in a wine glass, or one of the better zero-alcohol beers or wines. Be careful with acetaminophen on days you drink. The combination, especially at higher doses, can strain the liver. Yellowing of the eyes or skin, dark urine, or abdominal swelling is a reason to seek care immediately. Number 3. Sugary coffee drinks and energy beverages. Black coffee in moderation may support liver health for many people, but modern coffee drinks can be desserts in disguise: syrups, whipped cream, and more than 50 grams of sugar in a medium cup. Energy drinks add large sugar loads plus stimulants that can disturb sleep, and when sleep is poor, the liver's nightly housekeeping feels harder the next day. Keep the ritual and change the recipe. Order a small, ask for no whip, and go half sweet or sugar-free flavoring. Add a splash of milk or unsweetened non-dairy milk and sprinkle cinnamon. If you want a treat, pair a plain coffee with 1 square of dark chocolate and enjoy it slowly. Consider a caffeine cutoff around 2 p.m. so that sleep can do its repairing work. If you have heart rhythm concerns or take medicines that interact with caffeine, ask your clinician about safe limits. If you're finding these changes doable, take a second to tap subscribe so you don't miss the next step-by-step grocery walkthrough. Number 2. Ultra-processed snack foods: chips, crackers, packaged sweets. These foods combine refined starches, added sugars, salt, and fats in a way that makes them hard to stop. They add calories quickly with very little protein or fiber, which keeps insulin up and nudges the liver to keep storing rather than releasing energy smoothly. The result is a long evening of grazing and a restless night. You don't have to white-knuckle it. Build a snack plan that feels good. Keep a small container of mixed nuts where you watch TV. A quarter cup is satisfying. Popcorn made in an air popper with a light oil mist, and pepper delivers crunch without the additives. Crisp carrots or cucumber with a couple of tablespoons of hummus hit the savory spot. If sweet is the driver, eat fruit first, an apple or a cup of berries. Then decide if you still want a small treat. The goal isn't perfection. It's to change the pattern from mindless grazing to a planned, satisfying nibble that leaves your liver and your sleep in better shape. If you take a blood thinner, keep leafy greens and edamame consistent rather than avoiding them completely. Steady intake helps dosing. Number 1. The most overlooked: the healthy sugar overload from juices and smoothie bowls. Juice and fruit-heavy smoothies feel virtuous, but when the balance tilts toward lots of fruit and sweet add-ins and away from protein and greens, they deliver a big fructose load in minutes. Because the liver handles fructose directly, that pattern encourages fat production in the liver over time. The fix is simple and still delicious. Flip the ratio. Start with a cup of leafy greens. Add half a banana for creaminess. Include half a cup of frozen berries. Blend with water or unsweetened almond milk. And make sure you have a protein anchor like plain Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a protein powder you tolerate. Stir in a tablespoon of ground flax or chia for fiber. Keep portions to about 12 to 16 ounces rather than a giant blender full, and enjoy whole fruit more often than juice. For smoothie bowls, skip the sweet granola toppings and use a small sprinkle of unsalted nuts and seeds instead. Many people notice better energy and less mid-morning hunger within a week of making this switch. Let's pull these ideas into a simple plan you can start today without a shopping trip. First, adopt a label glance that takes 5 seconds. When you pick up a drink or a sauce, look for two numbers: added sugar and sodium. If the added sugar is above 8 grams per serving or the sodium is above roughly 300 milligrams, treat it as a sometimes food or pour a smaller amount. That one habit cuts a surprising amount of work for the liver. Second, shape 2 meals a day with a steady pattern. Half the plate vegetables, a palm-sized portion of protein, and a cupped-hand portion of whole grains or beans. This balances sugar and fat traffic so your liver isn't dealing with huge spikes. Third, plan one quick conversation at your next appointment about a basic liver panel, ALT, AST, GGT, bilirubin, and your fasting triglycerides. Many adults feel their best when triglycerides sit under 150 milligrams per deciliter and when waist size trends down toward about 35 inches for women or 40 inches for men. If your numbers are above those today, no panic. Small, consistent swaps are powerful. There's also timing to consider. If dinner has become your heaviest meal and you wake up with a food hangover, try making lunch the main event 2 or 3 days this week and keep dinner lighter. Vegetable soup with beans or grilled fish with greens and a small baked potato. Notice how your sleep and morning clarity change. If weekend takeout is a joy, keep the ritual and add guardrails. Share one fried item instead of ordering two. Choose steamed rice over fried. Double the vegetables and box half for tomorrow's lunch. If a glass of wine eases stress, alternate it with alcohol-free nights and measure a true 5 ounces. Many people are surprised by how much deeper they sleep. Hydration is an easy win. Your liver appreciates steady fluids more than occasional gulps. Unless your clinician has given you a fluid limit, a 500 milliliter bottle refilled 3 times a day gently targets around 1.5 liters. Herbal teas, diluted juices, and low-sodium broths count. A simple guide is pale, clear urine through the afternoon. If you live with heart or kidney conditions, always follow your personalized fluid plan. Budget matters, so keep swaps realistic. Canned fish and water, eggs, dried or canned beans, frozen vegetables, oats, brown rice, and store-brand olive oil stretch money and support the liver beautifully. Cook once, eat many. Roast a tray of mixed vegetables, bake chicken thighs with garlic and lemon, and simmer a pot of beans on Sunday. Through the week, you can assemble fast plates without the salt and sugar traps of many convenience foods. If cooking isn't your thing, think in terms of assembly. A can of tuna with lemon and pepper over microwave steamed green beans, and a small baked potato checks all the boxes in under 10 minutes. Medicines and supplements deserve a quick note. Follow acetaminophen dosing on the bottle and avoid stacking doses with alcohol. Bring all supplements to your next appointment. Liver detox products are often unnecessary and sometimes harsh on the liver, especially in large doses or combined with medications. Ask your pharmacist if any of your medicines are better taken in the morning with food to reduce reflux or sleep disruption. Only change timing with professional guidance. Here's that 20-second self-check I promised. Open your fridge or pantry and grab the drink or sauce you use most often. Find the added sugar and sodium per serving. If the added sugar is above 8 grams or the sodium is above about 300 milligrams, stick a small note on it that says smaller pour or swap. You've just identified an easy win without throwing anything out. Repeat that with 2 more items over the next month, and you'll noticeably lower your liver's daily workload. To bring it all together, remember that the liver is resilient and responds to patterns, not one-off treats. Deep-fried foods move to occasional, and baked or air-fried becomes the norm. Sugary drinks give way to infused water and unsweetened iced tea. Processed meats become weekend foods, with roast chicken, eggs, tuna, and beans taking the weekday load. Refined pastries and white bread step back as whole grain options, and fiber step forward. High sodium helpers get replaced by garlic, herbs, lemon, and a splash of vinegar. Creamy meals get their silkiness from Greek yogurt or measured olive oil instead of heavy cream. Alcohol finds its place in measured pours with several alcohol-free days. Coffee stays simple and earlier in the day, and smoothies flip their ratio so the liver is supported, not swamped. A 5-second label glance, a steadier plate, and one honest conversation about labs at your next visit. Those are the levers that actually move the numbers. I'll link plain language resources in the description so you can read more on your own timeline. This week, choose 2 swaps to try and keep them going for 7 days. You'll likely notice steadier energy after meals, clearer mornings, and more comfortable sleep. Small wins that protect independence. Before you go, tell me in the comments which change you'll try first: baked or air-fried instead of deep-fried, infused water instead of sweet tea, or a Greek yogurt sauce in place of cream. If this helped, like and subscribe to support a community of people 60 plus who want kind, practical health advice. Share this with a friend who cooks for one and needs easy, tasty ideas.